everyone, today I'll be doing a quick recap of the Tata Steel Chess Tournament 2022 Round 4. So let's jump straight into the games. On the first board, Magnus Carlsen vs Jordan Van Forest ended in a draw. Vidit Santosh Gujarati vs Andrei Sipenko in a draw. On the third board, we have a result, so we're going to be looking at that game, which was played between Shakir Mamediaro and Jan Christoph Duda. The game started off with d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3 and d5. Knight c3, c5 and white takes this pawn. And black decides to capture this pawn, attacking on the knight. White has to take the pawn. And now black takes this pawn. This is an isolated queen pawn now. White plays e4 and after takes, the queens get traded off very early and black has lost his castling. And here he has a pawn up but he has double pawns. So it will be taken soon. Bishop g5, h6 and long castles giving a check. He has to move his king, bishop takes, pawn takes and he grabs the pawn. And white has a slight advantage here. F5, knight g3, h5, bishop c4, knight d7. Now this position is actually equal and it should end in a draw. King b1, knight e5, bishop b3, king f6. It's never too late to do a mistake. Rook h1, rook e8, bishop a4, rook e7 attacks the pawn. White plays rook d4, rook c7, bishop b3. Now this pawn is under attack. Black plays e5. Rook c6 was a better move because now this pawn is again going to be attacked. e5, rook d8, pins this bishop. A better move still was rook d5 to attack the pawn. Knight into h4 and rook e8, attacking the pawn. If he would play rook h1 instead of rook e8, then he could grab this pawn also. Knight g6, rook e6, king g5, bishop c2 attacks this pawn. Black plays h4. Here black is actually better. Rook e3. Here f4 is not possible because rook takes g6. e4 played by black. It loses some of the advantage. White sacrifices his knight after king takes. White takes the pawn with the rook. And black sacrifices here because this could be a mating net. So here he has a bishop and knight for a rook. Here white goes for g4 check. Black can outpost on here, but black plays king g5, f4, knight into f4, rook 6 e5, king takes g4 and rook takes c5. It looks like black is an exchange down, but he has this pawn which is going to promote into a queen. So it's still equal. King f3, rook b4, and here black does a mistake because here white just plays rook c3, king g4 and pins this knight. Even though black defends it, this pawn can be stopped, and here after some moves Duda resigns and Shakir Mamediaro wins the game. The better option would be to play knight g2 and then after some exchanges this is a draw, and here it's equal. Even though this king is coming close to capturing the pawns, this king will also come to capture white's pawns. So that was board number 3. Board number 4, the players playing were Sam Shanklin and Richard Rapport. That game ended in a draw. Board 5, Fabiano Caruana versus Daniel Lubov ended in a draw. Board 6, Sergey Karyakin versus Anish Giri also ended in a draw. Board 7, here we have a result which was played between Pragnanda and Nils Grandelis. Pragnanda opened with d4, knight f6, c4, Grunfeld defense. Black attacks the center. If white takes, this bishop will be on a long diagonal, so white doesn't take. There's a lot of pressure on this d4 square, so white just pushes the pawn. Now this bishop is blocked by his own pawn. Black gets out of the pin. White exchanges the bishop h5. Black has 2 bishops here, but his bishops are not that active. White plays knight d2 because he doesn't want this knight to be traded because it will be an opposite color bishop. And he knows that this bishop is bad and even his bishop is not that great. So he can trade it off. He plays knight d2 but black wants to keep his bishop. And here white's knight is actually the piece which is going to be the most active because it can jump through these weak squares. White plays c4, now he gets a good structure. Black plays f5 to get his bishop active again, but white doesn't bother about that. And here he's attacking on the queen side with the pawn and on the king side with his pieces, and he's shifting the attacks. Here now he gets an open file. Castles now on move 29, f4. Now he closes more of the position, and now this bishop looks like it is active by trading this knight, but this knight will just move back. And both the bishops are very bad. Black plays queen d6 here. He gets out of the pin, but this is a blunder because now his queen is trapped and he has to protect his bishop. So bishop d8, knight h2. The bishops cannot move. White decides to trade one of the bishops because white's light square bishop was also being blocked by his own pawns. And now this knight versus bishop will turn out in white's favor, and white also has a passer pawn. White doesn't allow black any activity. He sacrifices his rook, but here black also sacrifices his rook because this knight was just jumping in. So now white will slowly push this pawn and convert the game after a few moves. He pushes the pawn, sacrifices the pawn because he knows even though that pawn goes, he'll have a winning king and pawn endgame because of a zugzwang. So here black has to go after this pawn and white will just take the other pawns. And Nils Grandiles resigns. But interestingly, black's king goes to d5 here. But this pawn is defending that square. But what happened was that once white wins, the kings remain in this position. White king remains on e4 and black king remains on d5 if white wins. If black wins, black's king remains on e5 and white's king remains on d4. And if it's a draw, both kings come on e4 and e5. So as white won, Nils Grandiles kept his king on d5 and later Pragnanda kept it on e4. But here this king is too far, so the computer didn't keep this king on e4. But as this king was close by, it moved it, not checking that the pawn is guarding that square. So that was it for the games. Now we are going to move on with the standings. These are the standings after round 4. Vidit leads the tournament still with 3 points out of 4, half point ahead of 5 people tied on 2.5 points. Duda, Karuvana and Pragnanda are on 2 points. Giri, Dubov, Karyakin, Sam Shankland are on 1.5 points, and Nils Grandiles is half point out of 4. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video.